Good morning to each and everyone. So our topic is all about drugs as evidence. So the definition of drugs is it is a substance that change a person's mental or physical state. So they can affect the way your brain works, how you feel and behave, your understanding and your senses. So nakadepende yung effect ng drugs. So, kung anong klaseng drugs ang in-intake ng um, person. So, for example, drugs na for maintenance. So, okay naman yun. Pero, there is a side effects pa rin, di ba? There's a side effects pa rin sa mga ini-intake natin. So, general definition of drugs ito. So, nakadepende daw yung behavior natin, the way we think, sa klase ng drugs na in-intake ng person or of a certain person. Republic Act 9165 or also known the Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Acts of 2002. So, it is the policy of the state to safeguard the integrity of its territory and the well-being of the citizens, particularly the youth, from the harmful and effects of dangerous drugs on their physical and mental well-being. So, sa Republic Act 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Act of 2002, so naka-indicate dito yung mga policies and mga kinds of drugs na punishable under this law, from the pusher, the user, the dealer, and the financer, and so on. So, mga kinds of drugs, like types of drugs, like for example, marijuana, shabu. So, it is punishable under this law. So there are two classification of drugs. So first is the legal drugs, absolutely. The second one is the legal drugs. So the definition of illegal drugs is the drug is a substance that affects the way the body functions. It is, if a drug is classified as illegal, this means, so literally this means it's forbidden by the law. So under the Republic Act 9165, so illegal drugs siya in a sense na nakaka-addict. You know, illegal drugs is a substance that affects the way the body functions. If a drug is classified as illegal, so literally basically is if the drug is illegal, so it is forbidden by the law under Republic Act 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Act of 2002. So it is prohibited by that law, kaya naging illegal siya, like marijuana, shabu, ecstasy, at marami pang ibang illegal drugs na pinagbabawal under ng RA 9165. So bakit? Kasi simple, nagiging the person who intake this kind of drugs will be dangerous or unpredictable. So unpredictable siya in a sense na hindi natin predict kung anong gagawin ng one person, di ba? Most of the time, the person who commit crimes is naka-intake ng drugs, di ba? Kaya iba yung iba yung pangutak nila, ibang pag-iisip nila. So that's why pinagbabawal siya ng ating government. Legal drugs, so considered as permissible by the law, so either prescribed by a physician or can be available in counter or pharmacies. So why legal drugs considered as drugs as evidence? So it can be used as evidence, especially in a crime that like for example suicide. So in the crime scene, there's a lot of there's no other traces that it was being murdered. So the only traces is those medicines, legal medicines that scattered around the table. So basically maka-conclude yung investigator na nag-intake itong person na to ng maraming medicine para mag-suicide. So nakakamatay din itong legal drug. So it can consider as the evidence in a crime scene. What makes a substance illegal? So there's no other reason of that. So the only reason why a substance makes an illegal or why a substance is illegal, it is because it causes addiction, habituation, or a mental change in once we are addicted to that substance, no, it can cause habituation. So nagiging habit na natin siya. So hinahanap-hanap na natin ng ating katawan ang that kinds of substance or whatsoever. So hinahanap-hanap na ng ating katawan, kaya ginawa siyang illegal by the law for us na hindi malulong sa ganitong mga drugs. So para maiwasan ang crime na magawa natin, or para maiwasan na makaabala tayo sa ibang tao.
Types of illegal drugs. So there are 9 types of illegal drugs. The first, cannabis or marijuana. So this is very common and familiar. And this marijuana also called use as herb, pot, and grass. Marijuana, also known as cannabis. Cannabis is a plant that people use as medicinal and recreational drugs. Number 2 is cocaine. So cocaine, an addictive drug derived from coca, or preferred synthetically used as an illegal stimulant. So cocaine is a powerfully addictive stimulant drug made from the leaves of coca plant native to South America. So yung epekto nito, yung epekto ng cocaine ay lost appetite, faster breathing, and heart rate, and increased body temperature. Ano siya, yung cocaine extracted sa mga coca leaves. Like, for example, yung siyang leaves, kulay green siya. Parang, halimbawa sa yung ginawang yung tea, yung inumin na ginawa sa ibang, sa ibang bansa. Yun yung ginamit. So, number 3 is ecstasy. So, this is commonly found at clubs, music festivals, and similar events. So, itong droga na to, yung epekto nito ay it can make people feel confident and energetic. So this is familiar in like sa mga movie na, or mga movie makikita natin while sa special sa mga clubs, events, pag mahalata mo dun yung mga tao pag grab yung confident at energy nila sa pag-enjoy sa mga party, kasi di na nila alam yung ginagawa nila. So yun yung effect ng ecstasy sa tao. Number 4 is GHB, or hydrobotic. Is a liquid type of ecstasy considered as club drug. So GHB, it's an illegal party drugs, commonly this commonly happen in a party. Mapapansin nyo, pag yung iba gumagamit nitong drugs na to ay hindi na sila nakakatayo at hindi na sila nagigising, and that can cause a stroke or cardiac arrest. So nakakamatay din nito yung droga na to. So grabe yung epekto nito sa health natin, lalo na sa pag-iisip. Number 5, hallucinogens derived from certain types of mushrooms. So itong uri ng droga, ito ay uri ng droga na maaaring magdulot ng malalim na pagbabago sa emosyon at pananaw ng isang tao. Halimbawa, distorted sense of time. Maaaring maramdaman ng tao na nag-iiba o humahaba yung oras. Number 6, heroin is an opioid drug made from morphine, a natural substance taken from the seed or pod of the various opium poppy plants grown in Southeast and Southwest Asia, Mexico, and Colombia. So it typically appears as a white or brown powder, or as a black sticky substance known as black tar heroin. It is a very addictive drug. Heroin provides a burst or rush of good feelings, and users feel high and relaxed. Taking an overdose of heroin can cause person to stop breathing and die. Number 7, and inhalants. Inhalants can kill even the first time someone uses them. Inhalants is a type of drugs. Ito yung karaniwang drugs na ini-inhale o hinihigop. Ito ay mga chemical o sangkap na maaring makuha sa mga ordinaryong household na bagay, like pintura, gasolina, at or marker, at iba pang mga chemical. Number 8 is ketamine. Is a powerful anesthetic drug primarily used in both human and veterinary medicine. So itong ketamine drugs usually na ano to sa mga like sa hospital ini-inject ito sa mga pasyente para pampatulog. Lastly, number 9, this is so very familiar, this methamphetamine. It is a highly powerful stimulant that belong to the family of amphetamines. Minsan yung effect ng shabu sa isang tao ay minsan napaparanoid, kawalan ng tulog, tapos nakagawa siya ng gumagawa ng hindi tama kasi nga di nila alam yung takbo ng utak niya. It is similar to cocaine but its effects last longer. So, yung shabu kumpara sa cocaine mas mahal yung shabu kasi yung shabu chemical compound lamang siya while yung cocaine extracted pa sa mga coca leaves.
Drugs and their classification. So, those are the depressants, stimulants, and the hallucinogens. So when you say depressants are drugs that slow down the central nervous system and the messages that go between the brain and the body. These drugs decrease people's concentration and slow down their ability to respond. Like for example, the alcohol. And then the stimulants, also referred to as psychostimulants, are drugs that stimulate the central nervous system and speed up the messages going between the brain and the body. These drugs typically increase energy, heart rate, and appetite. For examples, those are cocaine and the caffeine. And then the hallucinogens are drugs which typically alter how a person perceives the world. These drugs can change the way a person sees, hears, tastes, smells, or feels different things, including experiencing things that aren't there at all. Example, the magic mushroom. Evidence that may be collected. Evidence collected during an investigation involving illegal drugs can include the substance itself, containers used to transport the substance, utensils used to manufacture or use the substance, or in the case of manufacturing, the component chemicals used to create an illegal substance. Drugs can take from the form of pills, powders, liquids, plant materials such as leaves and mushrooms, crystalline materials, crystal methamphetamine, and cases such as MDMA or ecstasy can be embedded in paper or foods like candy. At crime scenes where illegal substances are suspected to have played a role, the substances in question could be residue on others items or liquids that have soaked into fabrics. In these situations, the evidence collected could be anything within the crime scene, including biological samples, most commonly blood or urine, from victims and suspects. In cases of drug smuggling, illegal drugs can be transported in small amounts through luggage or on an individual, hidden in innocuous places such as cosmetic bags or medicine bottles. Often drugs are smuggled inside the body using plastic bags or other small soft containers that fit into cavities or can be swallowed and regurgitated. However, drugs smuggled in large volumes may come through cargo shipments of other goods such as canned or boxed food items, prepackaged consumer goods, garments, or fabrics, and hollow items such as ceramics or tubing. There are an unlimited number of channels for smuggling drugs into the country, and evidence could include anything from personal handbags to entire shipping containers and their contents as part of these cases. The evidence is collected. Drug evidence is collected using the same evidence collection methods documented and sent for analysis using the guidelines and processes in place and at the responding agency. Packaging of the drug is based on the type of material present. For example, plant materials should not be packaged in plastic due to the moisture content and tendency to grow mold. If investigators collect a syringe or other sharp object, those are packaged in hard-sided packaging such as cardboard, cartons, or glass vials and labeled as a potential biohazard. Any biological samples collected would be packaged in according to proper evidence handling procedures.
Hey everyone, I am the last reporter of our group. The topic is all about drug as evidence. How the evidence is collected. So, drug evidence is collected using the same evidence collection methods used for other types of crimes. So the evidence is collected by photograph, packaged, documented, and sent for analysis using the guidelines and processes in a place at the responding agency. So, how do you collect the drug evidence? Drugs that are seized should be counted and weighed. So, they must be placed in appropriate containers, which could include envelopes, paper bags, or sealed plastic containers, depending on the sample being collected, in order to be properly preserved. So, evidence collection guidelines. So, each sample of material recovered should be placed in a paper container, so which can be sealed and marked. Be sure to properly seal loose material, particularly in the case of marijuana, can leak and spill. So, who conduct the analysis? So, no other than is that the law enforcement officer or other investigators in the field may employ presumptive colorimetric test kits or handheld instruments to analyze the samples. So, there are agencies that may conduct presumptive testing. There are 6 agencies. First is the police, second, border patrol, third, customs, fourth, corrections, fifth, national parks, service rangers, and the last one is the homeland security personnel and federal agents. So, whether or not a presumptive test is conducted, the collected material will be submitted to a forensic laboratory for confirmative testing. There are 2 types of testing. These are presumptive testing and confirmatory testing. So, presumptive testing, it is usually colorimetric. So, it means that this test will indicate the suspected substance is present or not present by changing its color. So, if the substance is present, the test kit will turn in one color. If not, it turns in a different color. So, while in the confirmatory testing, it uses instrumental analysis to positively identify the contents of submitted material. So, that's all. This is the last